And basically, there are 9 steps that we've composed here that seem to work most of the time. Um, they are not necessarily always the answer, but for a great number of issues, they are, including business issues. So it's not just your own personal, um, individualized potential issues that we're looking at. It's all encompassing type of issues. All right. Let me read them to you. First is objectivity, uh, openness, flexibility. Right? That's critical. Number 2 is follow a proven plan. And by a proven plan, I mean something that you know has worked either for somebody else or another group, or you've actually utilized yourself. Okay? And follow it. Be impersonal. Boy, if there were one thing I would want to teach people, it's about being impersonal, because taking things personally is the worst thing in the world. Being impersonal really puts you on top of the competition, so to speak. When you take things impersonal, cold blooded, right? When it's needed, I'm not talking about doing that all the time. When it's needed, that's important. Okay. Um, here's the next one is something is what I call my mantra. Right. Use of the principle of development as a life mission. In other words, the most important thing for me, my major belief and my major focus is develop myself, and develop my potential as much as I can, as high as I can. Right? Critical. And it definitely, when you look at things from that objective, uh, situations tend to change dramatically in a lot of cases. Okay, next is something that had to do with our definition of intelligence. Synthesize and integrate events and information. Take this piece of information, take this data, take that data, take another piece of information, and put it together into a picture, a whole picture, and see the forest and through and with the trees. Okay, very important. Uh, the next is rather a unique concept that people look at me and they wonder. And that is to use weakness, view weakness as potential. Those things that you don't do well, that you're not good at, are part of your potential. This is something that you can enhance your ability. And let's look at a very simple example. If you're on the college gals tennis team, and you've got a very weak backhand, it's not going to take long before people start exploring that, and you're not going to be on the college team or on a professional league very long. It's like a golfer who has problem with short putts. you know, if you don't correct this weakness, if you don't strengthen it, you're not going anywhere. And it's the same thing like in businesses or relationships. Work on your weaknesses, because that's where your greater potential lies. The next one is, we discussed earlier, the mirror image, the feedback. Use it for truth seeking. When you want to know what you're really like, what's really going on, look at the mirror. Look in the mirror. See what people are trying to tell you by virtue of sensing things that annoy you, and look at yourself. Okay. The last one is something very important, is staying focused on values, virtues, and priorities. Virtues are are critical because they are true unto themselves. They're not going to mislead you, right? It's the way in which you use the virtues. But if you follow virtue, such as sincerity and pursuing beauty and love, loving your work, loving your mate, loving your friends, loving your children. I mean, these are all critical virtues. Okay, so those are 9 steps for optimizing clarity and comprehension and obtaining our highest potential. Hope you implement them well. Thank you, and on to our next chapter.